What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today's video deals with finding your purpose. I feel like everybody can relate to this topic. I know I definitely could. It took me a while to figure that out, but now that I'm working that out, I kind of want to explain from a biblical aspect what finding your purpose is, and then how you can start to do that in your everyday life and use that purpose to kind of give you meaning. So our first scripture today is Ephesians 2:10, and it reads, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works, which God hath before ordained that we should walk in them." So what does this mean? Essentially, as soon as we were created by God, he had a vision of what our purpose would be. He gave us a purpose and then built us to that purpose. We were designed, we were created in the vision of that purpose. He even gifted us with talents, our gifts, uniquely to help fulfill that purpose. So your gifts and your talents are not a coincidence. The things that you do really, really well were given to you on purpose. All right, so we know that we were created and that we have a purpose. But how do we find out what that purpose is? So first things you should do is look at your gifts, your talents, the things that you do well, and be honest with yourself. I know for myself, I looked at my gifts, which I now know are my gifts, but before, I wasn't real with myself with what I was good at. And people would tell me, yo, you could do this really well. Yo, you're really good at this. Yo, you should think about doing something with this. And, I would just downplay it or be modest or be like, oh, that's not really a gift. Da, 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 da. Like, it's not something that I think is useful. But however, it's very powerful. And so you should be honest with yourself. Don't downplay the thing that God gave you. He gave it to you for a reason, for a purpose. And he wants you to use it to fulfill your purpose. If you downplay it, it's kind of like smacking God in the face. If you sing well, if you talk well, if your gift may be intelligence or wisdom, whatever it is, use it to the fullest of its abilities. But first you have to be real with yourself and go, you know what, this is something that I do well. Not to be cocky about it, but to be confident in it, and then to use it to the best of your abilities. All right, so we realize what our gifts and our talents are. What's the next step? So I believe the next step is looking back through your life, looking through the hardships, the tribulations, the trials that you had to go through, that maybe in the moment you didn't really treasure the experience or the journey through that hardship. But I believe if you go back and look at that and look how far you came, but not just that, the steps you had to take after you were hit with the hardship, and how you had to bounce back from that to turn it out for something greater and something better. That process, that toughness that you had to go through, I don't think is a coincidence. In fact, I feel like God sends us hardships to teach us things, for us to learn and to be more prepared for the things we have to face in the future. So I feel like those experiences, if you look back at them, you will learn maybe something about the direction of your purpose, or maybe something that you will have to do for your purpose. I was watching this video from Kirk Franklin. He was talking to his singers in the studio, and he made this great analogy that I feel like perfectly relates to what I was just saying. So he was talking to him, and he was like, have you ever taken eggs and just cracked them open and ate them? And obviously everybody shook their head. He was like, that's disgusting, right? And he was like, have you ever took flour and just like popped it in your mouth like sunflower seeds? Everybody's like, nah, like you bugging, bro. He was like, that's disgusting, right? He was like, have you ever took a stick of butter and just started eating it? And it was like, nah, that's disgusting, right? He's like, all of these things I just listed to you, you wouldn't eat them on their own. He's like, but have you ever had cake before? And everybody was like, yeah. He was like, that's good, right? That tastes good. The cake, as you cut it into pieces and you eat it, it's moist, it has layers to it, it's really good. He was like, think of God as the master chef. He knows the right amount of tears, the right amount of pain, the right amount of heartache that you put together to make that cake. That cake he is forming, he's putting you through these things to form that cake. He's like, but if you get stuck on the tears, on the situation that you went through that was hard, if you get stuck on the pain that you experience with whatever, the breakup, maybe an injury, anything of that sort. If you get stuck in those moments and you look at it for the egg, the flour, and the butter as individual pieces instead of something that should be helping you grow into the better person of you, then you will never get to that layer where God can form you into that cake that he wants you to be. But if you look at each experience, look at each hardship as something that is growing you, that you learn from each experience, then you will be forming into that cake that when somebody else breaks you apart and starts to look at the layers of you, looks at your relatability, looks at how much you've been through and how you persevered through that with God's help, you'll have the best impact. And I thought that was so key, and that speaks exactly to what we're talking about with understanding that hardships can be something that helps you indicate where your purpose will go. All right, so you've noticed your gifts and your talents. You've gone through your hardships and, pulled what you can learn from those experiences, the ones that are maybe happening now or happened in your past. All right, so what would you do next? So in my opinion, I feel like the next thing you would do is to tie in something that you find passion in. Usually your gifts are associated with what you find passion in, what you're really good at. And I feel like when you start to delve into that fully, when you start to master the thing that you're passionate about, it creates a platform. And from that platform, you become more relatable to people. People want to seek you out. They want to associate themselves with you. And by doing that, God can then touch them and interact with these people through your platform, through you just doing what you were sent on this world to do. And so I feel like if you strive in your passion on the things that you find passion for, that you want to pursue, that you want to do, not just for yourself, but for others, etc., it allows you the best platform for God to reach out and touch people just from you doing what your passion is, doing what your purpose is fulfilled in. And so I would say find your passion, something that you really love doing, and then pursue that to the best of your abilities. All right, so we know what our gifts and our talents are. We've looked back through our experiences and our hardships that we've been through and learned from those. And we found our passion and the thing that we want to use to build our platforms that God can reach out to people. What if we still don't know exactly what we want to do or what our purpose is? Or what if we might have an idea, but we want to fact check that with the Lord before we fully move into that? What does the Bible say about that? So actually the Bible talks about in Philippians 4:6-7, be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. So literally God is like, yo, if you have any questions as to what I sent you here to do, ask. Ask me, request unto me, fear not and request, and I will give you peace that surpasses all understanding as I give you direction in the thing that I want you to do. So we have to ask, but also be keen enough and sensitive enough to hear what he says and to get the direction, to hear where he is leading us and what we should do. And I feel like if you do that, you will literally have the blueprint to go in and fulfill your purpose. So let's go through the checklist again. So first, be real with yourself for your gifts and the talents that you have. And do not forsake those. Thank God for those and what he has gifted you with, because the gift that you have is unique to you. He gave it to you for a purpose. Also thank him for the hardships that you've gone through, the things that he put you through, maybe some of the tough times that you've gone through and experienced, so that you learn that you need it for the future, for the thing that he wants you to go into. And your passion, use your gifts and your talents to fuel your passion, to then narrate where you want to take the purpose that he has given you, what direction you want to move in. And if you have any questions, just ask him, and be keen enough to listen and to hear what he tells you back. I feel like if you do this, if you think about what you've been through and you use your gifts and you find your passion and you ask the Lord, you put all that together, and you will have somewhat of an idea as to what your purpose is. And then the next step is just to go walk it out, to go do it to the fullest of your abilities. That is why we're here. That's one of the reasons why we're here on this earth. And by doing that, you will touch people. People will be touched from just experiencing with you, from being around you. And will ask, what is that? What is that thing in you that's different from everybody else that I've been around? And you'll be able to point them in the right direction. And that's why we're here. So I think, it's not simple. It's not easy. I'm not trying to make it seem like that. But I feel like if you apply these things in your daily walk, in your everyday life, you will get that direction. You will get that purpose. And then you will have something that will fuel you to want to get up and go to work every day, or fuel you to want to get up and live, knowing that you have something that you have been given by Christ and given on this earth to fulfill. So, that wraps up this video, man. Nothing too crazy, just keeping it simple. I hope this could help you. I hope that you can apply this to your everyday life. If this video touched you in any way, please like and share. Don't take but 2 seconds to like it and to share it to the other people that you follow. I greatly appreciate it. For the people that come back and continually watch these videos and continually come to the site, man, I'm just honored and I'm thankful for all of you. Please continue to support, and I will keep doing what I do and cranking out videos and giving y'all material, man. So I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed one.